Hello everyone, welcome to A Foreigner Farming in the Philippines. I would just like to publicly say to David, thank you and thanks for trying. I think there are lessons to be learned in this. How something with the best of intentions can be run into the ditch if expectations are not in line with reality and communication is not clear and concise. And I think we can all learn something from this. In the 2 months or so that David and Tatay and Gina were corresponding back and forth to try to get this tank going, the communication and the understanding just wasn't there. And I had made it a point not to be involved with it because of I had known that sooner or later if it had my footprint on it, and I think this was David's reason in the beginning as well, that if I had anything to do with it, that it'd just be another scam from Brian the Foreigner. And so David had that same thought, I believe. And so that's why he and Gina primarily were trying to make this happen. It just was not gonna work from day one. While Gina's English is good, it's not her first language. And I think that David had some unrealistic expectations. I believe he had built one of these in Thailand. I don't know if it was ever operational or not. Different materials. There was never any way that this was going to be put up without a bending machine. I think people just need to realize that this isn't Thailand, it's not Australia. This is the Philippines. David was also frustrated at one point that Gina was having to run around to so many hardware stores to find something, and sometimes successfully and sometimes not so successfully. Again, there's no Home Depot, there's no Lowe's. I don't know what the big box store is in Australia, but there's none of those either. Here around Talabon and Ubay and Trinidad, you put all the hardware stores together, and they're generally pretty small. You put them all together, and if you're someone from the West who is used to a Home Depot, all of them together are going to have about 20% of what you need. And none of them are going to not a single one of them is going to have a significant portion of that 20%. You're going to have to go to all of them and get one thing here and one thing there and one thing there. And yeah, from someone from the West, seeing what's going on from afar, it can act like, what the hell are these people doing? But that's the reality here. You're not going to find what you need in one stop. Not even City Hardware, not even a big hardware. Their big hardware here, it's chain here like City Hardware. You're still not going to find everything that you need. While they may have had it at one time or another, you'll often get sorry sir out of stock. It's just harder to do things here. Everything is harder with finding materials, even if you're in a big city. You have to know where to look for it. There's no advertising like there is in the West. There's no one-stop shop, not here on Bohol anyway. So, while I'm saddened that it all didn't work out, I think there's lessons to be learned. About differences between the West and the Philippines, and Western culture and Philippine culture, and how to communicate and how not to communicate, and what you can expect to happen, and what can or will happen. So I'd just like to say thanks, Dave. Sorry it didn't work out. There are many thousands of pesos here in these poles and in these roofing sheets. that will, who knows what Tatai wants to use them for. We'll figure out something to salvage them, to do something with them. You know, I'm in this 10 man days of labor that I've paid for. So, you know, I'm in it 3,500 pesos on labor that is now for naught. David is in this, I don't know how many roofing sheets are on this, but they're 500 pesos plus each, I would imagine. So just in these poles and in this steel here and the rivets and whatnot, I don't know, maybe he's 15, 20,000 into this. You know, it's a shame. I really have no idea what those other materials are he has in those, or what his future plans for them are. It's none of my business. I'm not going to ask him. Honestly, I don't really care. But I'd just like to offer him a public thank you for trying. A lot of this could have been avoided if I had been involved in it in the beginning, and all probably could have been done in 2 or 3 weeks. But you know, while the trolls have very little effect on our lives here in general and on the whole, you know, our channel is doing fine. It's never going to go away. We're going to keep doing what we're doing here until we choose not to do it anymore. And the trolls can all just go play with themselves. But one thing that they have accomplished was, in this particular project, was Dave not wanting me to be involved in it in the beginning, for fear of what the trolls would say. And I'm just guessing on that anyway, but maybe Dave could leave a comment and clear that up. Perhaps he just thought that he could manage it from afar. You know, even Filipinos here will tell you that, you know, I've talked to many overseas OFWs who try to send money home for something, and it just, you know, it just doesn't work out. The neighbor who's building the piggery is a perfect example of that. He sent money for and funded a duck balut operation, starting with 500 ducks, while he was on a ship. And when he got here 10 months later, there were 100 ducks left. And when the caretaker was asked what would happen or what happened, he just got a shrug of the shoulders, and he got I don't know what happened. 400 ducks, I guess, used their wings and just flew away. Whenever you're trying to manage something here and you're not familiar, whenever you're trying to manage something here from afar, even if you are Filipino and you understand how things are done here and what is doable and not doable, it's still hard to get an outcome that you like. And when you're not terribly familiar with the Philippines and you're not Filipino, trying to get something like this done from a couple thousand miles away is dang near impossible. And so here we are. So once again, thank you, David. It's a shame it's ended up like this, but sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So thank you, everyone. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.